Durwood Zaelke, who is the founder and president of the Institute for Governance and Sustainable Development. He joins us now from Washington. Welcome to the program, Durwood. Always a pleasure to have you on. I wonder how much of the Trump administration's attitude towards the climate crisis is exemplified by Kelly Craft, who, before she became the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, said on the record, while a camera was in her face, "I believe in both sides of the science when it comes to the climate crisis."
Well, I think Trump has seen political advantage in being a climate denier, hacking his administration with other climate deniers. But the Earth has spoken resoundingly that he's wrong. Climate change is here. It's real. It's getting worse by the day. So this will be a central issue in the presidential campaign. And we know that Biden-Harris ticket will do everything that they possibly can to slow down climate change in the time we have left, which is very, very limited time. And this includes not just cutting the CO2 from fossil fuel emissions, but cutting the super pollutants like HFCs, black carbon, and methane that can slam on the brakes and give us a chance of keeping the Earth safe enough.
NASA has released some pictures which show a cloud of carbon monoxide above the western coast of the United States, which NASA says is 7 times the average amount. How much space is left for those people, some of whom are extremely intelligent people, who say that, you know what, there have been fluctuations in the Earth's temperatures since time immemorial, and this is just one of those moments? How much space is left for those people?
Well, there's no space left for those people. Again, the climate impacts are not just the California and West Coast fire. They're not just the fires in the Siberian Arctic. They're not just the fires in Australia. They're the floods. They're the sea level rise. They're the melting glaciers. They're the loss of Arctic reflective sea ice. So we have a whole series of impacts that are very strong evidence, irrefutable evidence that climate change is not only here today, but it's accelerating. This is our greatest risk, is that the speed of climate change is outpacing the speed of our solutions. So the new mantra for Biden-Harris has to be the need for speed. We must catch up, get ahead, and solve the problem.
Hasn't the coronavirus pandemic, though, proven that there are some political leaders who are prepared to accept that a certain level of death is acceptable as long as our economies keep running? And yet, if they look slightly longer term and see the trillions of dollars of economic damage that the climate crisis is going to have on the world, and some of their countries very specifically, they still won't take action. So what is going to happen for things to change? And we have been asking this question. Durwood, you must have been asked this question 10,000 times.
I've been asking this question for a very, very long time. But now the evidence is overwhelming. The political will is changing. So look at what the young people are doing. The Extinction Rebellion, the Sunrise Movement. I mean, this is the future. And it's the present. So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and her team, Jamie Raskin. I mean, these are the young leaders in the U.S., and there are others around the world who are saying, we are now going to take charge. We are now going to force a political reconciliation, which will be good for our economies, and not just in the long run, but even in the short run. If you look at what's happening with the financial system, they're beginning to price the risk of carbon, and they see the need to change. So again, look at BlackRock and the other big financial players. They're onto this, and they know they have to change as well. So the combination of the money leaders and the youth leaders will push us to get the heads of state to take the action we need to take.
Durwood, as I said at the start, it's always a pleasure to hear your analysis. Thank you so much indeed. Durwood Zaelke speaking to us from Washington.